American Pickers star Frank Fritz's friend challenges will 4 months after his death and demands trial to determine estate. Hello everyone, welcome back to my another video. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. American Pickers star Frank Fritz's friend has challenged his will 4 months after his death, as a jury could determine his estate. Frank passed away on September 30 at age 60, 2 years after suffering a debilitating stroke in July 2022. The U.S. Sun reported Frank's lawyer filed a will prior to death to safekeep the document in October 2023. A certificate was issued for approval of the will on October 18, 2024, weeks after Frank's death. However, the U.S. Sun can exclusively reveal that on December 30, 2024, an attorney for a friend of Frank's entered his appearance in the case on her behalf. Then on February 3, 2025, a separate attorney filed a petition in probate to set aside will and jury demand, meaning to request a will be canceled or invalidated legally. Read more on American Pickers. The case has officially been sealed, meaning documents are not available to the public. Frank is estimated to have a net worth of $6 million. CONSERVA2RSI. Frank suffered the stroke at his Iowa farmhouse in July 2022. The U.S. Sun broke in August 2022 that loved ones filed a conservatorship and guardianship on behalf of Frank. His friend Chris Davis is the guardian, while Midwest-owned bank is the conservator. American Pickers Frank Fritz lost the will to live after stroke. His friend claims really tough recovery led to death. The documents obtained by the U.S. Sun read, because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur. Frank was also unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. An exhibit was filed in the court papers from a doctor, claiming Frank does not have decisional capacity. The legal papers continued, decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. Appointment of a guardian and conservator is necessary to avoid immediate harm to him. The conservatorship papers also revealed plans for his Savannah, Illinois store Frank Fritz finds. The initial plan filed by Midwest-owned bank read, Mr. Fritz is a well-known collector and has numerous outbuildings full of valuable collections. The conservator has not yet inventoried those items, but plans to leave them largely as they are now, with the exception of stocking Mr. Fritz's antique store in Savannah, IL as needed. The documents revealed Frank's annual income of $60,000 from investments, per his 2021 tax return. Frank was unemployed at the time of his stroke and had no debt listed. Frank's belongings. Frank's longtime friend Jerry Gendro previously told the U.S. Sun that they will have an auction for his antiques. That's what I would do because of his fan base. I think he'll do really well with an auction. In 2021, the U.S. Sun photographed Frank at his $155,000 Iowa farmhouse in Davenport, Iowa. In one of Frank's outhouses on the property, he showed off rows of motorcycles from his collection. Jerry previously told the U.S. Sun some of the bikes will be displayed at the store, which is located in the back room of his bar. Jerry told the U.S. Sun in October, "We have been an antique store for 35 years. We'll probably continue to be that. We may display motorcycles and choppers that represent Frank. Right now it's set up as an 1880s general store. Maybe there'll be bikes on a rack all the way down the center." Pick years at A&E. Frank left American Pickers in 2020 to undergo back surgery. He never returned and was officially let go from the series in 2021. Mike's brother Robbie replaced Frank on the show, while Jersey John Chalet later became a full-time cast member. Frank revealed his feud with co-star Mike during an interview with the U.S. Sun in 2021. Mike, 60, and Frank made up during his health issues when they reunited over Memorial Day weekend of 2023. Mike and loved ones were by his side in hospice when he passed. Frank Fritz's conservatorship. Frank Fritz was placed under a conservatorship in August 2022, just weeks after he suffered a stroke. Frank's conservator is Midwest-owned bank and is in charge of his finances. The bank agreed to invest Frank's money and collections to generate income. The guardian is his good friend Chris Davis. Chris is responsible for helping Frank manage his Crohn's disease treatment, go to physical therapy, grocery shop, cook, and more day-to-day tasks. The conservatorship also agreed to help replenish Frank's Iowa antique store, Frank Fritz Finds. A wheelchair ramp and more have been installed in his Iowa home under the conservatorship. A final years. Jerry previously gave insight into Frank's health struggles in the months before his passing. He felt really bad, he told the U.S. Sun. You would go to see him in the nursing home, and one half of his body was completely done. He would lift his arm up, and it would just drop. That's got to be tough to be totally bedridden. Jerry said Frank grew frustrated because he couldn't come out and say what he wanted to say, though some days were much better than others. I've seen this when people get tired, they get tired. I think if you don't have the will to live, you won't, Jerry said. I think Frank would have lived a lot longer if the will to live would have been there. Remembering Frank. A memorial will be held in Frank's honor in the spring in Iowa. There will be a celebration of life in the future. It will be big. Fans can attend. We already have several bands who want to play in it. This will probably take place in the spring. Chris added of his close friend, I will say Frank loved his fans, and he passed away peacefully with friends at his side. American Pickers star Frank Fritz's friend challenges Will 4 months after his death and demands trial to determine estate. In the months following the death of Frank Fritz, the popular star of the long-running History Channel series American Pickers, his estate has become the center of a contentious legal battle. Friends, family, and legal experts have been closely watching the unfolding drama, as a friend of Fritz has recently stepped forward, challenging the will that was left behind. This challenge, which has now led to the filing of a formal request for a trial to determine the true intentions of Fritz, has added another layer of complexity to an already emotional and sensitive situation. Frank Fritz, known for his adventurous and often unpredictable spirit as he traveled across the country on American Pickers with co-host Mike Wolfe, passed away earlier this year. His death, which came as a shock to many, left his fans devastated and questioning the future of his legacy. However, what followed his passing was even more surprising. The emergence of legal disputes concerning his estate, which was left in the hands of those closest to him. The most recent developments have involved Fritz's friend, whom has taken legal action to contest the will that was presented as part of the final arrangement. Whose identity remains somewhat private due to the nature of ongoing legal proceedings, is asserting that the will presented by Fritz's family does not accurately reflect his wishes, and that the document itself may not have been properly executed or valid. The legal challenge, which comes just 4 months after Fritz's death, is being framed as an effort to ensure that the estate is handled according to what the friend believes were Fritz's true desires. This has sparked intense debate among legal experts and fans alike, as questions have arisen regarding the legitimacy of the will and whether it is truly reflective of Fritz's intentions. The friend's challenge is based on several key points that they believe undermine the validity of the will. First, the friend argues that the will may have been created under questionable circumstances and possibly influenced by outside pressures. There have been accusations that Fritz, who had been dealing with a number of personal challenges in his final years, may have been in a vulnerable state when the will was drafted. This claim is at the heart of the legal dispute and has led to calls for a full trial to determine the authenticity of the will and whether it accurately reflects Fritz's wishes. The Friends legal team has made it clear that they are not satisfied with the way the estate is being handled, and they are pushing for a trial to allow a court to make a determination. The goal of this trial would be to either validate or invalidate the existing will and ensure that Fritz's estate is distributed according to his true intentions. While the family has expressed confidence in the validity of the will, the Friends legal team argues that there are sufficient doubts to warrant a closer examination. One of the central issues in this case is the question of who Fritz intended to leave his assets to. Fritz, who had a wide circle of friends, colleagues, and acquaintances due to his television fame and love of antiques, had a complicated personal life. In his final years, Fritz's relationship with his co-star Mike Wolfe had become strained, and there were rumors circulating about tensions between the two. Although the two had once been close friends and co-hosts on American Pickers, their professional relationship had become increasingly difficult in the years leading up to Fritz's death. As a result, many have speculated that Fritz may have made efforts to distance himself from certain individuals, including Wolf, and to ensure that his estate was divided in a way that reflected his true feelings. The legal dispute has also raised questions about the role of Fritz's family in the handling of his estate. Family members have come forward to defend the will and insist that it was created with Fritz's full knowledge and consent. They have argued that the will reflects his intentions and that the friend challenging it has no legal standing or grounds to question its validity. In response, the friend's legal team has pushed back, arguing that there may have been significant changes in Fritz's circumstances that could have impacted his decision-making process, and they are demanding a full trial to resolve the matter. As the case progresses, the legal battle over Fritz's estate has become a source of American Pickers, and Fritz himself have been following the developments closely, with many expressing their opinions on social media and in online forums. Some have sided with the family, believing that the will is legitimate and should be honored, while others have thrown their support behind the friend, questioning whether Fritz's true wishes are being ignored. The case has become not only a legal matter, but also a topic of conversation among fans who are invested in preserving Fritz's legacy and ensuring that his estate is managed in accordance with his values. At the heart of this case lies the desire to understand what Frank Fritz truly wanted in his final days. While much of his life was lived in the public eye, the inner workings of his personal relationships and his wishes regarding his estate remain shrouded in mystery. The trial, should it proceed, will seek to provide clarity on these matters and determine the fate of Fritz's possessions, including the collection of antiques and memorabilia that he spent years curating on American Pickers. These items, which were a significant part of Fritz's life and career, are now at the center of the legal dispute, as both the family and the friend vie for control over how they will be distributed. The legal team representing the friend has expressed confidence that the trial will reveal important information about Fritz's true intentions, and that the existing will may not be the definitive expression of his wishes. They are hopeful that the trial will allow for a fair and thorough examination of all relevant documents, testimonies, and evidence to ensure that the estate is handled properly. As the legal process continues, the family of Frank Fritz has remained steadfast in their defense of the will and their belief that it accurately represents his wishes. They have emphasized that Fritz's estate should be managed with respect and care, and they have vowed to honor his memory by carrying out his wishes to the best of their ability. However, with the challenge to the will now underway, it seems that the resolution of this matter will take much longer, and the ultimate outcome remains uncertain. The situation is further complicated by the emotional toll it is taking on those involved. The death of Frank Fritz was a painful event for his friends, family, and fans, and now the added stress of a legal battle has only deepened the sorrow surrounding his passing. As both sides prepare for what is likely to be a lengthy legal process, many are left wondering whether the resolution of this case will bring closure or whether it will only serve to add more complications to an already difficult time. For now, the fate of Frank Fritz's estate remains in the hands of the courts, and the upcoming trial will determine whether his wishes will be honored or whether new arrangements will be made. The legal battle is expected to continue for several months, and in the meantime, fans of American Pickers and the public will continue to follow the case with interest, hoping for a resolution that reflects the true character and legacy of the man who captured hearts with his love of history, adventure, and the thrill of the pick. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.